Hello, hello. Welcome to Leap Taken. Here at Leap Taken, I talk about all things witchy, craft related, law of attraction, manifesting, esoteric, and everything else in between. And I want to talk about something I've sort of interlaced in other conversations, but I want to dedicate an entire video to this subject. Is it luck? Is it manifesting? Or are you just is it really manifesting? That's really what I'm asking. Let me start over. Is it manifesting or is it just luck? Okay. So here it is. Let me tell you where I'm coming from. So for some of us, we may be using the word manifesting when we need to just be speaking more about gratitude. We're referring to manifesting and saying, we manifested this life, I manifested this person, in everything in my life, I've manifested it. And I think that these words have just been said and people are just saying it. So picking something out is not manifesting it. If you have the financial means to just purchase a house, if you have the financial means, the credit behind it to be financed for items like a car, did you really manifest it? Did you really manifest it? Or are you just in a fortunate position where you can just go purchase things that you like? So, I don't have any hate in my heart for anyone, but right is right. Maybe I'm a little idealistic, and I don't enjoy seeing people sort of use that term. And there are people who have platforms, unfortunately, who just say things like that. And actually, they're not just saying it, they're building up something with that buzzword, and they're not being forthcoming. And you don't have to tell all your business, but it's kind of a bigger deal if you have, for whatever reason, you're in a place where there is no work to get the things that you're talking about. There's no work happening. The only work was you making a decision to get it, and then you did, right? Versus manifesting, which is typically going to be for something that's not easily to get. For instance, just small talk, starting small. Once you get to a particular, let's say you have to go somewhere in the city and there's parking situation, manifesting that your night will be safe, manifesting that you're able to find a secure parking spot, and everything's safe. That's something you would manifest, right? That's a prime example versus, someone saying, I manifested, a place to park. They went in a city, but they valet park and they knew they were in a valet park. So you didn't manifest a place to park because you valet park, and you knew, especially, that you would be able to valet park somewhere. You see what I'm saying? I feel like people are disingenuous, practitioners, people who talk a lot about law of attraction. And there's a lot of folk out here who really I'm going to just keep it to YouTube, come to YouTube using the buzzword manifesting. Some of us do have luck. I know it's hard to believe that some of us might just have the fortune of luck. Luck meaning you were born into a family that had wealth. You were, you married someone who makes a lot of money. You personally had, a certain talent, and you were able to be, take very much paid for that, in a way that's not average for other people. It's talent, it's skill, yes, knowledge and the practicing of said knowledge for a lot of us. But even for those of us who have all of that, because of the system that we live in, just being honest, you're still not where you would prefer to be. So luck, and also you just happen to not be a minority. You were not born a minority. And I'm not saying it's to be unlucky to be a minority, but in our society, unfortunately, that is how others would deem it. Trust me, there is definitely perks to not being a minority. However, I'm also not someone who I won't let anything limit me, including other people's bias, prejudice, or racism, if I have anything to do with it. And that's where magic comes into play, but that's another topic. In the meantime, I wanted to kind of spark a question for some of us out there who, how, do you really think you're manifesting something that you can easily, do you consider that manifesting something you can easily obtain? Or not even easily, you have the means to make it happen, whether, regardless of it doesn't have to be money related or an item. That's just easier to work with, but that's usually the thing that's being talked about. That's why I'm kind of harping on that, material items. It's where I don't know. I'm a little offended by it when I hear that and when I'm seeing, and it's a lot. Y'all know, if you're watching me, you're on YouTube, so there's a lot of people who are very quick to use that term when it's very obvious they were already in the position to manifest this item or this thing or this life that they said that they created out of nothing. There was nothing. So, I mean, you didn't really. Do you see my point? Do you see my question? So I'm beginning to think when people are now using this term, they're using it to mean, I guess, just creating in general. Maybe it's the aesthetic. They manifested the aesthetic into reality. They had a vision in their mind about, interior design or design in general, and now they manifested the look into reality. So do they mean that, or a trip? I manifested traveling. There's quite a few people in my mind who have said these words, and I'm just staring at the screen thinking to myself, I mean, I'm not in your pockets. I'm not counting your money. But since I've watched a few, it's become very obvious you're not having any trouble going online booking a flight. It's not I'm just saying it. I know things are not always they seem sometimes when you're, definitely watching someone. They're showing you what they'd like for you to see. However, if you pay attention, you can also maybe see patterns as well. Yeah, you're showing me what I want to see, but I'm starting to see patterns. The longer you put out content, I can find it. And one of the patterns is that you already have money, so you don't have to manifest this. So stop saying it. It does. I do slightly find it offensive. So for those that happen to be in what I'm just giving a short term, just the name of luck, they fall in the bucket of just luck, just in a financially, finances makes the world go round. So even if it's your health, if you don't have health insurance, then you're in trouble. At least in our country, it's a problem, especially if you have health issues. And so finances definitely have a lot to say in how all of us kind of our quality of life here. So knowing the times that we live in where inflation is just ridiculous and wages are stagnant and down, to get onto these apps and start using terms like, I manifested this life and it was always going to happen. We got people out here in their lake house, their family's lake house, not the primary residence, their family's lake house, or somewhere up in the mountains, their family's property, and they will look you into this camera and say, I manifested all of this. And I don't follow those people. Once I see things like that, it's really difficult for me to relate anymore, because I feel like there's either you've convinced yourself or worse, you're trying to convince me that you manifested anything. You didn't. And I think, and I alluded earlier, the real conversation should be gratitude. You should, if you're especially, and I'm speaking people in the witchy community or that law of attraction community, I'd rather hear how you're doing gratitude rituals. I'd rather see your offerings, and I'd rather see your acknowledgement versus I manifested all of this. So I think I'll end that here. It's just something that's been bugging me. Let me know in the comments if it's been bugging you. This is just a video where I kind of wanted to, one, educate a little bit on the concept of manifesting. And when I mean educate, I mean I'm getting you to think about, how are you using that term? Like, seriously, how are you using manifesting? Are you using it in the sense of law of attraction way? Or are you using it in, I guess, some textbook definition way where you're just creating something, or, something along those lines? Or do you think of it like that? Either there's no wrong answer here. I think the problem is when you start to share that with others and you're using it in a way where you, spiritually speaking, no, you didn't. You did not. It already existed, or would be, because you always had access, resources, and a wherewithal to make it happen. Yeah. So I'll leave it here. Thank you again for watching. My name is Mika. Go ahead and hit the like button to like it if you did. Subscribe if you'd like to, and hit the join button to join the Leap Taken membership. There are wonderful perks with the Leap Taken membership, including 40% off all services at leaptaken.com. By the way, go to my website. Check me out there at leaptaken.com. You can check out the services that I offer there. And as always, thanks again for watching. All right, bye.